I feel like I have to talk about this Bendgate, and I feel like I have to talk about it in response to Taylor Tech's video that we're talking about it again. First off, Bendgate was not people grabbing their phones like this and bending it. 9 people in the first 48 hours went back to Apple and said, hey, our phones are bent. The reason that Lou from Unbox Therapy made his bend video was because reports were coming in that the phones were bending. And so he wanted to do a test to see how much or if it would bend. So you are willfully not arguing, you're arguing a straw man case where you are arguing about whether or not it matters. It matters because up until now, up until this week, Apple told us they didn't know. They didn't know that the phone could bend. Court documents that have been made public have said that, yes, in fact, they did know. The iPhone 6 is 3 times more likely to bend than the previous phone. Now, you can say whatever you want about the iPhone 5S being smaller or whatever, but 3 times more is a lot. And then the iPhone 6 Plus is 7 times more likely to bend. And this was Apple's internal information that they knew before they released the phone. And then they acted like they were so surprised when the phone started bending. Now, I understand that you are a fan of Apple. I'm a fan of Apple. But I think at times you have to allow yourself to recognize that if the company lies about something, if they release a product that they know is built to inferior standards compared to their previous products, and then they tell us it's super strong and it's going to be great, and oh my God, I can't believe this happened, and we had no idea, and they did have an idea, then you got to call them out. You must call them out. You can't defend them. Your entire video was talking about stuff that was not at issue with this particular problem. This particular problem was that Apple knew the phone could bend more than phones in the previous models could. And they never said anything. They thought 7 times more likely to bend was an okay ratio. And now I'm not a manufacturer of things. I don't know what the numbers really should be or could be. But the fact that they had internal information that said the phone could bend and it would be more likely to bend by 3 and 7 times. And they released the phone, and when in fact it started to bend, they were like, and you totally missed the whole idea of the touch disease, okay? The problem that these court documents have shown is that not only were the phones more fragile, they also, when they did bend, led to a problem that was much more of an issue than Bendgate itself. Lots of people had problems with touch disease. Lots of people had to pay $150 to have their phones fixed when the problem was caused by a known defect in the product from day one. Apple knew they were releasing a product that could bend. And then when they started to bend and the screen issue started, Apple decided like, oh, well, it's not our problem. We're going to charge you $150 unless you have Apple Care, which is Apple screwed this up. Apple should be held accountable for lying to people and then knowing they're lying and charging people money for subsequent problems that are related to this bend issue. If you can't see that, if you refuse to see that, you're a great guy. I really enjoy talking to you. I really enjoy your channel. But you can't make up a non-argument to replace the argument that's here. It's not about holding a phone like this and bending. That's not what it's about. It's about the fact that Apple knew. And they never said, even after the phone started to bend. And then they knew that the phone starting to bend caused touch disease. And they still didn't admit it. And they still charged the customers. Dude, you really have to allow yourself to see things clearly and call Apple out when they have, in fact, royally screwed up and royally screwed over their customers. It doesn't matter how many people it affected. It doesn't matter. They released a product that they knew could bend more readily than their previous product. And they didn't tell, they still released it. Okay, maybe that's fine. But when the bending started, they didn't say, oh, yeah, we didn't think it would be an issue, but now that we see it is, we better take care of that. Okay, mea culpa, we'll fix it. No, they didn't say that. And then years went by, and touch disease started to happen to people who own these phones, and they decided, instead of coming clean then and saying, yeah, we kind of knew the possibility for bending was there, but we didn't really think it would be that big an issue, but now touch screens are becoming non-functional. They didn't say, yeah, it's on us, we'll fix it. They said, oh, that'll be $159. Thank you. So this is a place where Apple has been in the past. Apple has bald-faced lied many times. This is just another example of Apple lying. And if you don't see that as an issue, then I have no idea what your compass is. Lying to your customers is a problem. And even no matter how much you love the company, you should not explain away things for the company that you love when they're doing something wrong. They are lying. You can't allow that to happen. I really want you to tell me that when you found out that Apple had lied about their knowledge of the potential for that phone to bend, and they didn't come out and say when the bending started that they should do something about it and own up to the fact that they might have had an inkling that it was possible. I want you to tell me that them lying about that and then down the road even charging their customers more for a subsequent problem is in any way defensible. I can't imagine that you can do that. I can't imagine that you can say you can defend Apple for lying to the customers and then charging them for subsequent problems related to the bending issue. If you can do that, then I don't know, man. Don't take this the wrong way. Don't take this as me like coming at you, but I'm kind of coming at you. You probably hate me now. That's okay. I'll take the heat. Anyway, this has been a rant. Now I'm done. So I'm out.